Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Rant and Bollox. Another episode. It's only been a year, hasn't it, Paul? I don't know,
The
something like that.
annual
But it's another
installment.
episode. So yeah. Um, but we just wanted to kind of get back into these, get back into the groove. There's a lot of shit going on in the world with COVID-19 as well, and we thought, what better time to spark these up again because a lot of people are going to be indoors and probably getting into podcasts. Maybe you'll see our notification pop up saying "Rant and Bollocks" again. We're not going to talk too much about it, but it has affected our lives and I'm sure yours. But we'll kind of go through some movies, some TV shows and games that we've been doing to give you a little update of what's been happening the last year, and then hopefully start kicking these off more regularly as well. But yeah, how's everything going? With you, Paul?
It's shit. It's the end of the world.
It certainly feels like it. That's for sure.
What was the term I saw? Slow apocalypse. But it's fine. Yeah. Things are going good apart from that. I was like, oh, things are great. Traveling around, seeing the world, watching movies. Now there's nothing.
Yeah, you got.
Have you seen Rotten Tomatoes?
What do you mean? Have I seen it?
The Rotten Tomatoes main page, it doesn't have any movies on it anymore, like upcoming or releases. It just shows streaming movies.
That's so funny. Well, that was actually something I wanted to talk about as well. And again, we're just going to kind of go all over the place in this episode, but because it's just a catch-up thing. But I do. It's funny because no one can go to the cinema, so all those movies that are out, they're just like, holy shit, we can't make any money off this. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of the studios decided to release them digitally, didn't they? So I know Onward, the Pixar one, just came out today to buy on iTunes, and it's out to stream on Disney on the 3rd. And that's a huge movie because it's like the new Pixar one.
Frozen 2 did the same thing.
Yeah, Frozen 2. But Frozen 2 technically was already out of the cinema. With Onward, they just weren't going to make anything because it only just came out. So they were like, oh, we've only got a week of sales, and it's just going to sit in a cinema for the rest of the time, and no one's going to go see it. So they said, let's release it on iTunes. We'll get some money, at least, earlier on. And also, they'll do everyone a favor and people can see it, because there's probably kids out there who probably wanted to go see it, and now it's like, oh, we can't leave our house.
Yeah, and I remember, just when this all started kicking off was Bond, and they're just like, well, we're probably going to delay it because at that point China was infected, and they're like, well, China's such a huge market, we don't want to lose that, so we're going to be like, all right, we'll delay it, we'll wait till this blows over, we'll have a pint at the Winchester, and then it's like, oh, every movie's cancelled.
Oh man! But so so Bond was going to actually come out?
Yeah, Bond was scheduled for June or May or June. Because what's his face said Daniel Craig was doing Saturday Night Live, that's how close it was to being launched.
Oh wow!
Because they schedule so he was going to talk about it and then they're going to bring it out, and then it's like, well, we can't release in China, so we're going to wait. And now it's like, well, we can't release anywhere.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, that was supposed to come out, I think, next week.
Were you looking forward to it?
Not really.
No. You know what? I haven't enjoyed the last few Bonds. This one I heard was also going to be 3 hours. I'm like, just because Endgame doesn't mean you.
Oh fuck! Was that it? I saw the trailer. I'm like, it looks like a Bond movie, and that's it. There was nothing in it that made me like. You could have cut footage of that in with any other Bond movie, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, really.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually. I 100% agree. I don't like to... Well, you can compare them, Mission Impossible. But Mission Impossible, actually, the last couple have been pretty good. And I used to be a massive Bond fan and not like Mission Impossible. But with Mission Impossible, at least you can tell, if they have a huge stunt or whatever it is. You're like, oh, that's from that film, and that's that actor. But in Bond, yeah, it just seems to kind of all just melt together.
Yeah, they went back. They have the Aston Martin, and they've got a new one for him, and it's a classic. I'm like, that one blew up in Skyfall, but they said,
Yeah.
well, we like it, so we're just going to bring it back.
Yeah, and then
everyone likes it, but make your own movie.
I know, yeah. I'm hoping it's also Daniel Craig's last one. I just like to see, I'd love to see Idris, but
he's dead. He's
just
got corona.
But just someone else. I know he does have it. Yeah. So.
I hope he doesn't die.
But
Kenny Rogers died, not because of Corona, but he died this morning.
that is actually another thing. Whenever I read about these people passing, I'm always just like, because of Corona, you know?
Yeah,
It's just
is
like,
it like that's probably the new headline of like passed away age 86, not of Corona. He's got to tell you it wasn't Corona's fault.
it's again kind of jumping all over the place here, but there was a guy on his phone taking video. This is in the UK, I'm pretty sure, and he was taking video of the beer aisle, like in Tesco's or something. And like a lot of the beer was gone. There was a couple of like Budweisers left. There was a couple of like crates of other stuff, and then most of the Corona was still there. And he was like, "We're fucking stupid people, aren't we?" It's just like no one's buying the Corona. Like it was almost all there. It was like one case was just gone, you know.
All right, but
Like,
not
what
talking
is
about
wrong with
Corona.
people?
Let's talk about something else. Have you been playing any games?
Have I been playing games?
Yeah,
Well, there's no one else on the
because
podcast.
I haven't,
so
because
you
I don't have a
can't be talking
PlayStation.
to
I'm
anyone.
isolated without a PlayStation.
I will say, in the gaming front, there is a huge game coming up, which I'm going to play, which I'll talk about in a second. But I have been playing the new Battle Royale from Call of Duty. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, I want to say, in November. Pretty fun game. I didn't really play it too much, but it was just like your average kind of COD game. But because it went back to Modern Warfare, a lot of people are excited. But now they've released their Battle Royale for it, and it's called Warzone. Now, there's a couple of really cool things. The first thing is it's free to play, so they're directly taking on like, you know, Fortnite and stuff, and well, PUBG's not free to play, but and then it's just got
But they're trying to steal that the market that the other guys have already got from Black Ops and stuff.
Yeah, totally. And they're and it's got, I mean, obviously because of this Corona, a lot of people are indoors, but in the first week it got 30 million players, which is awesome. I mean, it is free to play, so everyone can just try it out. But people are actually playing it and enjoying it. But there's a couple of cool things with it that I'm really enjoying. And the first thing is it's 150 player, a huge map. But the cool thing with the map is it's really like there's so much variety. So you've got I feel like almost every building is different. It's not like I remember when I was playing PUBG, I was like, oh, there's a cut and paste of like 10 buildings. They're all the same building, but just rotated around. Whereas in this one, it's like everything is new. There's like a crash plane. There's, you know, like there's schools, there's hospitals, and it's all kind of unique. So that's cool. 150 player, that's sweet. And then it's got like the kill streaks from Call of Duty. So if you're doing really well, you can buy kind of like airstrikes and stuff like that. So there's a cool dynamic. And then the last thing...
Wait, explain the dynamic on that,
Sorry.
because it's a battle royale. If you get a
Yeah.
kill streak, you can call in an airstrike on somebody else.
So the way Call of Duty works, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but in Call of Duty...
you get like 3 kills, you get a drone, 5 kills,
Yeah.
you get a helicopter, whatever it is.
So their take on it in this is when you kill someone, you get money, and you can and then when you open crates and stuff, you get money, and with that you can buy kill streaks. So from stations around the map. So basically, the more you kill people, the more money you get from it, but also from collecting out of crates. And once you've got a certain amount of cash, you can go to like a buy station if you find one, and you can buy whatever you've selected in the options. So like a couple of my kill streaks are. You know, like you can even have a helicopter fly around or UNAV, so you can actually see who's on the map just for a few seconds, kind of thing. So it's a cool dynamic because, yes, I might get my UNAV and see everyone, but then someone else that's playing really well might have a bloody chopper in the sky. But it's not crazy. It's like it's not. You know, the map's so big that you only really see like 1 or 2 people using those things at a time. So it's not like the map's like going mental. But yeah, it's a cool little dynamic. And then the last thing, which is awesome, is if you die, you actually get thrown in a prison called the Gulag, and you have a one-on-one fight with someone. It's always with pistols. You've both got the same pistol, and you've got 15 seconds to kill the other guy. And what's even cooler is you've got the rest of the people that have died in the game are in the cells looking down at you, and you can throw rocks at them. So like you can actually throw rocks and then in a way kind of say like he's down this way or something, you know. But you've only got 15 seconds. You usually kind of run towards each other, but it's just funny because you can see the people in the crowd and stuff. And so if you win, you drop back in the map down from the helicopter, like from the playing again. If you die and then you're just out of the game, you can spectate. So it's kind of like a second chance. But yeah,
okay.
it's cool. Yeah, it's really fun. It's got that Call of Duty kind of slick, very fast feel. The weapons feel great, and plus, I won the other night. I know I've won a chicken dinner. I've won, but I've never won at Blackout. I know you got really into Blackout. I never actually won, and then I won at this the other night. I am
won
playing
a Blackout.
Yeah, I am playing on a PC. But the other cool thing, I keep mentioning another thing. But the other cool thing is that so PC, Xbox, and PlayStation can all play together. So if you've all got controllers plugged in, you can all play. But if I have a mouse plugged in, I wouldn't be able to play in your servers until it shows that I've got a controller connected, and vice versa. You can actually plug a mouse into the Xbox or PlayStation, and then suddenly just play with all the PC guys. So that's pretty sweet. It's a really good way of kind of connecting everyone. And I think every game should basically do that from now on.
Oh yeah, and if you can hear in the other room, the guys are watching a movie. Just in case you hear that, everybody.
I don't think I can. What are they watching?
I think it was Predator. I'm not sure. Maybe they're watching Bond.
Classic. But yeah, that's game. And then just one other thing, gaming wise, is in VR, because I'm still into VR and using the Quest and stuff, is Half-Life Alyx comes out on Monday, which is like a megaton game.
Wait. Did you say Half-Life Alyx?
Half-Life Alyx, yeah. I know, it just happens to have my name in it. It's like I called them, I said, you got to do this. But Alyx is if you've played the Half-Life series, it's a woman that's in the game that comes in on in an episode of one of the games, and you play as her in this. But it's VR only, which is like a super bold statement from Valve. It comes out Monday. They've been working on it for I want to say 5 to 6 years. They've had their biggest team on it. So Valve, they've released Team Fortress, the Counter Strikes, Dota, like the role-playing games and stuff, and obviously the Half-Lives. And this is the biggest team they've ever had in a game. It's a full VR game. It's 10 to 15 hours. There's head crabs. There's the AI in it.
Wait. Head crabs.
Yeah, they're basically
You're just making shit up now. There's a game out. It's called Half-Life Alyx, and there's head crabs, and they'll come and get you. I'm like, sure, I'm trapped in a fucking room right now. It could be true. It could be not.
No, it's if you know the Half-Life series, they're kind of they jump onto your face and then they turn you into a zombie. So yeah, that's going to be bloody scary to see. But just in case anyone's wondering, the cool thing with Valve is they've opened the game up to anyone, so anyone can play. So they've got their own headset, which is super awesome, called the Index. But the Oculus, which is Facebook, they're allowing their headset to play. Vive have got their own headset. Microsoft have their own headsets. So even on their site, they're just you can play our game on all these platforms, which is great because they're going to get lots of people buying it. So I'm going to play it on the Oculus Quest, and then the cool thing I'm going to do is I'm actually streaming the game from my PC to my headset, because the Oculus Quest is wireless. So I'm going to be playing wirelessly as well, which is sweet. So it just kind of gets you a bit more immersed, and you can kind of fly around the room a little bit more. So super
you're
looking
film
forward to that.
yourself getting one of these head crabs on and running into a wall.
It could happen.
Get it off.
But that is kind of gaming highlights. Those are the two. That one I'm looking forward to, but the Battle Royale I've been playing quite a lot. Unfortunately,
there's probably not a better time to bring out a VR game, is there?
I don't think there is. No.
I have to escape reality right now. I'll play Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time for that, to be honest. There's going to be, and then there's also an app in VR for watching movies in the cinema and chatting to everyone. I can imagine that doing really well. So it's yeah.
I know I've seen people with a Chrome extension where you can have a Netflix party and you can watch Netflix with your friends. And
I was just about to mention it. It's called Netflix Party. Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably going to use that when we do our Endgame.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Wait, is Endgame on that? No, Endgame's on Disney now.
Actually, it's been pulled. Yeah. So.
Oh, sweet crap! I'll have to figure something else out.
Well, technically, with Disney, you can have it going on a couple of devices. So I'll just give you my password, which is fine. Yes. It's not illegal.
Cheating the system.
So you can just use it on my thing. I think you're allowed. I want to say 4. So it's not like I'm going to be using it 4 times while we're doing Endgame. So.
Besides, I've already bought the DVD. I just don't have it with me. So, you know, we haven't broken too many rules.
I hope you mean UHD.
Yeah, exactly. I say DVD. You know, I'm buying the 4Ks.
For sure. But yeah, I guess you don't have your PlayStation and Xbox. You haven't been playing that much. But I guess also just to, you know, again, we're going all over the place here because that's what we do. Is Paul's in Toronto. I'm still in Toronto. But Paul got season 2 of his show, so that's why he's in Toronto. Without his consoles as well. So.
Yeah, everything's over in Vancouver.
Yeah. So.
And we're on lockdown, and I can't go home anyway, so it's good.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, I have been able to watch a lot of Netflix shows. So I watched all of season 4 of Better Call Saul, and now I'm on to season 5 of it, and I'm just nice. Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was a big Breaking Bad fan. I know you were.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you ever got into Better Call Saul.
I never did. I literally haven't even tried watching an episode, but now we've got this time, maybe I should. I've just been...
Yeah, it's really
so many
good.
things have been recommended, but that for sure I've heard is very good. I can't, from the premise of it, I just can't see how it could be as good as, like, Breaking Bad, but...
I agree. I was in the same boat, and then I watched, like, the first season. I'm like, all right, this is top quality.
Because it is, hopefully this isn't a spoiler or anything, but it is still a prequel, yeah?
Yeah, it's still a prequel.
Okay,
like, it's not a spoiler to say that, you know, he's not Saul, and this is how he becomes Saul, but it like, for me, I'm watching and I'm thinking, this is how you should have done Star Wars. Like, you know he's going to turn into, like, Saul or Vader. You know, he's going to become, like, the bad guy.
Yeah.
So if you've already got that in your head, you're thinking, well, how are they going to make it interesting? They're interesting because you go back and you see how he got there, and you're kind of like, you kind of feel bad for him. You're like, oh shit, I don't want him to go. Like, he every time he has a chance to, like, maybe do the right thing or go the right way, he kind of takes it. Like, he's kind of got a good heart, and then you just see, like, the world just fucks him over, and he's just like, oh no. And you constantly feel bad for him. And at this point, it's like, you want him to become Saul and just, like, be that guy and be the guy who just doesn't take shit and just makes money and succeeds.
Yeah.
And it's not a spoiler because it's like season 5 just started and you're going to be catching up. But all these characters that are, like, starting to circle are from Breaking Bad. So you've got the cartels, you've got Mike, you've got, like, the characters that were in there. They're in this, and they're the same people because it's only set about, I'd say, 8 or 9 years before Breaking Bad began.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about Mike.
Yeah. But he's back. He's great. And Gus Fring is in it. And yeah, it's awesome. It's really good.
Okay. Yeah, mate, I might give it that a go. Is that on Netflix as well, or is that something?
Yeah, that's on Netflix.
Sweet. I think I might have a go at that. So, what else has kind of stuck out to you? You've been watching?
I've just been catching up. Like, that's the thing. Once you've got, like, the time and night, you're like, oh, what's on my Netflix list? I'll watch that. I watched all these movies that have been stuck on my list for so long.
Have you actually been adding them to your wish list?
No. Like, my wish list was already so long. I was just like, I'm just going to go to the bottom of the list, and I'm just going to find one, and I'm going to watch it.
Oh, okay. Right.
I went back. I watched The Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis. It's a great movie.
Okay.
What else did I watched a bunch of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They're great.
I started that. I got through the first 4 seasons, I want to say. Very, very funny.
Yeah. And what else have we been getting through? I started watching Peaky Blinders. Like, I've been getting into shows just because I know I'm going to be sitting there watching for ages.
Yeah. Well, it's the perfect time to really get into something and binge it, you know?
Yeah. I did say I didn't want to watch it, but I cracked and I watched it. I watched the Halloween 2018, the remake.
Okay.
Did you see that one where it's like Jamie Lee Curtis and it's
I've
30
seen
years
so
past
many trailers of it, so many people talking about it. I feel like I've seen the film. So
yeah, it wasn't anything. It wasn't terrible, and I say if you want to watch it, just watch it. But I was like, I don't know why you made this.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis hasn't been in all of them. It was a big thing because she was back, yeah?
No.
Is that right?
See,
no?
This is the thing with Halloween. Okay, it's a fucking shit show.
Oh, shit. So she's in all of them then?
No, she's not in all of them, but she's in some of them.
Right, okay.
And, like, Halloween is this mess of, like, there was the original Halloween, and then there was a remake called Halloween by Rob Zombie. And now this is a new remake called Halloween, but this one is connected to the original Halloween.
Okay.
So it's a sequel, but it's not called Halloween 2 or 3.
Right.
Because there already is a Halloween 2. And then Rob Zombie made a sequel to his movie, and that's called Halloween 2.
So that's not confusing at all.
Oh, it's fucking... And like the original sequence of movies, like Halloween 1, 2, 3, and 4, there's one of them that's called Halloween H2O, and Jamie Lee Curtis is in that, and it's 20 years after, and she's like killing Michael Myers in that one, and that's supposed to be the ending, and but that one doesn't exist in this universe now of this remake, so it's like... It's the ultimate example of just Hollywood branding of like, we know the name, we're just gonna go watch the movie. It's like, all right, fine, but I can't complain. It's not a bad. What I don't even know if you call it a remake. I don't know what it is anymore, but it's not bad. I expected it to be much worse.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't hate it.
Yeah, I think I heard that as well. I heard that they did a decent job of it, but it's still just
something I did
Halloween.
hate. Star Wars. Let's get into it.
Oh,
the world is ending.
Oh,
fucking
God.
Star Wars.
That's
what we should do.
Yeah.
What would I'd say Star Wars is the worst movie I saw last year. What would you say was your best and worst of last year?
I've got to go through. I've got to remember what the heck I saw, but I will say
no. It has to be off the top of your head. Do it right now.
I will
Everyone's
say
watching.
that it was up there with being quite a disappointment. Like, sure, it had the CGI, it had the graphics, it had a couple of cool scenes like when she's fighting Kylo Ren with the waves, but the actual film and structure, and I don't think we haven't talked about this, but this is spoilers by the way, guys, but I fucking hated it when with the Chewie, like when they took Chewie and they took him off the ship, and the ship went away, and then they blew the ship up, and everyone thought, oh, he's dead. And I remember
he's toast. Yeah,
I remember in a cinema there was a couple of kind of like that, and I was like, all right, okay. And I was like, well, this is getting on. The Star Wars films. Maybe it's his time to go. Han Solo went, and then I'd say, not even 5 minutes later, they showed that he was still alive. But then, watching the film, all the other guys thought he was still dead. And I was like, who the fuck did this? Like, this is just awful the way it was put together. Because now the audience know that he's still alive. But then we're still watching characters that think that he's dead. And it's just like, as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, this has gone to shit. There was obviously more, bits that were a bit shite. But just in like, more about like who's directing it and stuff like that. But was it done by different people?
It was Abrams.
From the others?
It was J.J. Abrams who did the first and Force Awakens.
Like I like maybe he had a struggle with other people on it, or people kind of asking him, you gotta do it this way, but it stood out to be just like lackluster. So
yeah, we'll be an hour here if we're just gonna get into it. For me, it was just it made no sense because everyone's like, J.J. Abrams is trying to fix what happened in The Last Jedi, and he's just like, okay, they killed Snoke, so now I have to come up with a new bad guy, and this happened, and then Luke's an asshole, and he's dead, and I got to fix that. And I go, okay, I get it. Like you said, there's people telling him what to do, and he's got to fucking make all these people happy and all the Star Wars fans happy. But to me, I was just like, I'm going back, whatever would have been 8-9 years to when they first said they're doing a new trilogy. Surely you would just think, we're going to make 3 movies. Here's the story we're going to tell. We'll keep it really secret, but here's the story. And they didn't do that. And I'm just like, holy fuck, you guys went in by the seat of your pants on $1 billion movies. No wonder they're just like, bleh.
I know. And to have a franchise that big and just not kind of care about it the way they did is just surprising. And I think with Mandalorian doing so well, that they're going to start to take cues from the smaller films. Like the smaller films, well, not films, but TV series and stuff is maybe the way they should go forward with it. I think they should just give the movies a break. A bit like what they were doing with, Star Trek. I know they've rebooted it now, but still, they should really not do
jumping
a Star Wars
around
film
there
for a
real
while,
quick.
so.
Did you not see Peg said that he's not going to do? They're probably not going to make any more Trek movies.
Oh, I didn't see that. I thought they were doing a 4th, but
yeah, he had a frank interview and he was just kind of talking about how the movie didn't do as well as they expected, the 3rd one, and he wrote that one. And he's like, it didn't do as much money as they expected, and now they have the new TV show and they have Picard show, and it's getting kind of confusing to people, and they can't quite sell it the way they want to sell it. And Star Wars is out there now, and then he's on to other things of like the cast have moved on. It's been a couple of years since we got any momentum.
Yeah.
And also Anton Yelchin is dead now. And it's just kind of like it doesn't seem to have anybody who's, you know, picking it up and running with it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with all those points, to be honest. So, and I also didn't think too much about the third film either.
Yeah, it was fine. Like Idris was Elba in it, and you know, it was good.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame, but at the same time, I do see the confusion part as well, especially of Discovery now Picard, and then if they were to do another film, it's just like what's happening? Is the Romulans here? Are they not there? Do they have a planet? And why did the Klingons?
They're doing
like
a new
this?
show.
So, as in, you mean like another Discovery or like another TV show?
Another Star Trek show in the Discovery universe.
Ah, interesting.
I think it's called Section 31. I think it's about the secret society or the secret order, or in the Star Trek universe, like the secret agents. Okay,
right. I think I was chatting to you over text, but have you watched Picard?
I have not watched Picard.
It's good. It's good. I'm enjoying watching it. It isn't Star Trek as we know it. It certainly isn't Next Generation. It's cool seeing some of the old characters. But it's exciting me. Like, I'm looking for, like, the new episode came out yesterday, and I was kind of like, oh, you know, I definitely want to watch that tonight when it comes on. It's great to see Picard back, but yeah, it's got an interesting story that continues on from the Nemesis film. From
right,
that was the last one that Picard did. So, and also a kind of fun fact in Nemesis is the bad guy in that is. Why have I forgot his name now?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, and he's like super skinny because I think like he started out as a model. So
it's like half Tom Hardy.
Half Tom Hardy, exactly. Yeah. But I would say try it out. Try the first couple of episodes. It's pretty cool. So
don't threaten me.
So.
All right, you still got to pick a good movie from last year because Star Wars is shit, and we'll get into that. We'll probably do a commentary and fucking be like, "What the fuck happened here with this?
Yeah.
And why is he?" Obviously, Endgame came out last year, so that would be my favorite. I don't think it'd be the best movie of the year, but it was it was the one I'd look forward to the most.
Yeah, like I kind of need to go through. Let me just do a quick Google of what came out because there was a couple.
Here, I'll do it. I got one here. I got a list. You can tell me if you've seen it. Not
sure.
seen it. Is it shit?
All right.
The Irishman, the big Netflix one.
I haven't seen it. I haven't got. Well, I was just going to say I haven't got the 3 hours to sit through it, but I'd be lying if I said. But
if you haven't seen that 3 hours, then you probably haven't seen the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, I haven't seen that either. But
I haven't seen that either.
I know. I've heard hit and miss things. Irishman, I've heard is good. I'm just not super into those kind of films, though.
No. What about Parasite, the big Oscar winner?
Oh, I did see it. It wouldn't be like my favorite film of all time, but there was some surprising, cool kind of moments. I liked the way it was shot, that's for sure.
Did you see Ford versus Ferrari?
No, I do want to see that because Christian Bale and Matt Damon, awesome actors, so that's on my list.
I think you'd like that one. Also by the director of Logan. Did you see 1917?
I did, yeah. Super, super awesome visuals. Again, I'm not like big into those films, so it wouldn't be on my list.
See, that's the one I'd probably say should have won the best Oscar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just because it's like a big effort. I know you haven't seen this because it's definitely not in your wheelhouse. Did you see The Lighthouse?
No, but like it rings a bell. Like, what was that one about again?
Black and white one has the new Batman in it, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, okay. No, I think I saw like a YouTube clip on it or something. Someone was talking about it. You
what
enjoyed
else we
it?
got? Yeah, that was really good. But it's from the guy who directed The Witch. It was his second movie.
Oh, you know your Witch.
So if you like The Witch and you kind of like that little kind of artsy kind of movie, it's definitely. And just watching that, and I was watching Pattinson, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give him time on the Batman thing. I know everyone's gonna give him a hard time, but I'm like, you know what? He's a good actor, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens. That Batman one, I don't know if I'm excited about Batman. We're jumping all over the place. That's what we do.
What about
you?
I guess with the Batman, it's interesting because like I didn't mind Affleck. But I just think the whole Justice League and the way it was all told just ruined Superman, ruined Batman, ruined them all basically. So I don't mind seeing Batman again. It seems like they're taking it in a slightly different approach, like a area. So I'll definitely give it a go. But I'm starting to get that, like, what they're doing with Batman is like the same as what they're doing with Terminator. It's like, stop trying, just like give it a rest, give it a little rest. But yeah,
give him a break.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Terminator, you said you liked that one, the new one.
So when
he says it, folks, he said it to me. I'm not putting words in his mouth.
I said I liked it because it has those Terminator 2 kind of characters in it. I'm not saying it's a good film. It's an action film. It's fun. It's got, Sarah Connor and obviously Arnie and stuff. So it's cool seeing it from that perspective. The actual Terminator in it is like the bad Terminator is pretty sweet. But have you seen it, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it, but I'm not interested.
It's not really,
go ahead and spoil it.
There's another thing, there's another kind of like with Star Wars with Chewie. There's like a thing in this which really bugged me was, it's the same premise where they go back in time, and there's a bad one and there's a good one, and like about halfway through the film, you find out that the bad Terminator, if it's the only thing that will kind of hurt it is like an EPM grenade, like those electronic grenades.
Right.
And it like messes with his circuitry or something. And one of the the good Terminator that kind of went back in time, she knew this, but only halfway through the film was she like, we need to get hold of those grenades and stuff because they're the only thing that's, so everything the first half of the film they're all shooting at him with like handguns and it's not doing anything. I'm like, this, you just went back from the future, to protect, the guys. But like your first thing you should have done is to get one of those fucking grenades. It's like, I just don't understand. Like the first half of the film, she's shooting him with a gun, knowing that it's not going to do anything. Like slow him down, sure. But then halfway through, she's just like, oh, we should get one of these grenades because that's the only thing that stops him. And it's like, well, I don't know why the hell they didn't just do that to start with. But anyway, it bugged me. But, as an action film, it's fun. It's
that was Al's review of Terminator for everyone. It bugged him.
It bugged me, yes. Nice
couple
to see,
more sequels.
Nice to see
Did you see It Chapter 2?
Actually, funny enough, I haven't seen that. And I know James
Neither
McAvoy.
have I. It's weird, isn't it? It's
James McAvoy. Like, I want to see him in that. It's just like, the trouble of that one is, again, we've got lots of time on our hands, but the wife doesn't like scary films at all, so she's going to really freak with that one. But I enjoyed the first one, actually, like the reboot.
Yeah, with the kids. So, and like you said, the cast is good. It's got McAvoy in it. It's got Jessica Chastain. Good actors. But I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm adding that to the list. I'm just writing a list down here.
Did you see Jumanji 2, or I should say Jumanji 3?
I've got it like downloaded, but I'm not really. It's just that's a generic background film. Like that's one of those films that's going to be on. I'm going to be on my phone. I'm going to look up. I'm going to be like, oh, that's okay, cool. Oh, that's funny. Okay, back on my phone. It's one of those.
It's on your
films.
phone while you're watching the TV. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I watched it. It's exactly the same as the first one in the sense of like, you like the first one? It's the same movie. Jokes, funny, action.
That's what I thought. And it's just like now they've got the snowscapes and stuff. So.
All right, the last sequel that really mattered last year was John Wick 3. Parabellum.
Oh, that was last year, wasn't it? That was surprisingly good for a number 3 in a series of something you think would be totally stale by then. I thought it still is interesting. I was still kind of like, yeah, I'll watch this, even though it's just him shooting people in the head again for a third film. It wouldn't be my favorite film, but it would be up there. It would be in my probably top 5.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to find your favorite film off this list because the next one up is Captain Marvel.
I was going to say, so Captain Marvel again wouldn't, but was Spider-Man in there? Because I really enjoyed
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man came out right after Endgame.
Honestly, I was so surprised by Spider-Man. And that might even be it. Because I just thought everything after Endgame was just going to be like, blah,
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal was great in that.
He is really awesome in it, yeah. So I'd say that might be my favorite one. Like, I enjoyed, obviously, Endgame as well, so maybe Endgame and Spider-Man.
Oh, actually, I think my favorite movie would be Apollo 11, if anybody has to see it. It's not a movie, it's a documentary, but it's a documentary that uses unseen footage from the actual Apollo 11 mission. There's no nobody talking. It's just showing you the footage, showing you the build-up, the rocket launch and all. It's just really good if you love space and all that, which you should, because it's awesome.
It's going off on that. I was watching ITV this morning, and there was flat earthers on it. This is like 3 months ago, I'd say, and they were talking about like, like, so you obviously you think the Earth is flat, and it's like, so, what happens when you keep on going? And he like drew a map, and it was like bloody Game of Thrones. There was like a wall round, so it was like the wall round as a circle, and then so it's Philip Schofield's the guy that does the talking, like the main host, and he's like, so what's over the wall? And then Flat Earthers is like, we don't know, no one's been there. It's just like, what are you talking about? It's just like, someone must have gone. What about if I just take a helicopter now and go? Like, what would I see? We're like, we don't know. And then Philip was just like, so with the NASA space station that's up there now, with the photographs of the Earth, like, I can go onto the NASA live feed right now, or a Russian one. What am I looking at? And he's like, CGI. I'm like, oh God, oh God. So it's just like, what? So the Russians, UK, the Americans, they've all got the same rendering engine. Render the Earth like this, make sure it looks like this, so everyone, it's all the same. just ridiculous. Anyway,
I don't even know why people get that into it. Like, if you just want to confuse the hell out of a flat earther, piece of advice for anybody who might run into them, just ask them, explain the sunrise.
Yeah, it's just like how it's going round.
Yeah, because if it's flat, the sun should rise on everything at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And that's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, I think their biggest argument was they've got these like laser pointers now that can go, miles or whatever, and they can like we can shine it across this lake or whatever, and it just doesn't ever bend or something like that. It's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Fucking idiots.
But yeah, and then there's lots of TV show stuff going on. Like, I was into The Mandalorian, didn't get into The Witcher, so that's definitely on the list. But did you watch The Mandalorian?
I kind of heard that was shit.
I heard.
No offense to Witcher people there, because again, I'm not making a judgment. I haven't seen it. I just heard it was kind of crappy. Unless you're a big fan of the game, in which case you're like, oh, it's got all my stuff in it. But for regular people watching it, they're like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I heard the same thing, and a lot of people were comparing it to Game of Thrones, and you just can't do that. Like, Game of Thrones is just like huge, had 8 seasons or whatever it was, and The Witcher's just starting out, like it might get bigger or whatever, but everyone was just like comparing it to it, and then because Game of Thrones finished badly, they're like, oh, I think it's better than Game of Thrones. It's just like, I don't know. And also all of that could have just been Netflix kind of, putting out rumors and stuff saying like, headlines better than Game of Thrones, only on season 1, so
yeah.
But Henry Cavill, apparently he's like a big gamer, and he is actually a gamer, so it was kind of a funny interview, and there was this guy saying, because he doesn't really look like a gamer, and the interviewer was just like, so what do you play on Xbox, PC and stuff, and then you could tell he was kind of calling him out, saying like, do you even play The Witcher? And then Cavill was just like, oh, I play on PC. I build my own computers. I play on PC because I want to have the highest graphics, and you can overclock it and stuff. But you play it on the PC, you can also download the mods for it. And then he was just going kind of technical into it. And then the interviewer was just like, holy shit, you know your stuff. So
he's a nerd.
Yeah, and apparently I think
Superman's a nerd.
I want to say Cavill also kind of asked to play. I think he knew like the show was happening, or at least being talked about, and then he put his hat in the ring and said like, by the way, I'm a keen fan of the series and I'd like to play him, so which is cool. Yeah,
I will say I have heard that song, the Throw a Coin to Your Witcher. It's very catchy.
It does seem catchy. The only time I've heard it is in Beat Saber, the VR game. Someone was playing it to that, so.
I guess the other thing is we got, let's say, 8 weeks of TV.
Yeah.
So at least we can catch up on everything that's out there. So at least if people have a recommendation that they definitely want us to watch, put a comment in it. Let us know, because we're all going to just be trading what we've, we're all going to watch the big movies. Like, I'm going to go watch Jumanji and I'm going to go watch Spider-Man. But after like 4 weeks, I think we're going to burn through all the big ones, and we're going to find like the little nuggets, the little indie movies, the little small horror movies. So if anybody's got one of them, let us know.
I think that's the coolest thing, is finding those little nuggets. There's a girl that I work with, and she, every once in a while, she just goes into Netflix and she just goes to like the B-list movies, but you can find some really good ones in there. So she found like, I want to say it's called like Time Cave or something, and like these students go, their teacher goes missing in the cave, and then they go and try and find him, and like while I haven't actually seen it yet, but just the trailer, and while they're kind of climbing down, there's like this time shift of like they go through this time wall, and I don't know, something weird's going on in the cave. The acting is like super bad, but apparently the concept's really neat. So I'm like, okay, I put that on my list. So
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's just kind of fun ones like that. Like you could tell in the trailer, it's like, oh my god, there's not much budget going on here, but it still gets good ratings.
The other thing is that you've got Disney, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I still haven't got that. I'm still gonna have to burn through Netflix, and then I have to burn through bloody Amazon Prime, and then I can see what's happening with the Netflix.
I can
tell you this, or not Netflix or Apple, but the one thing we can all agree on is no one's going to Apple.
No,
no one's going to watch Apple. We'll go to Disney, and then we'll go to Apple.
100%. I think like Apple as well. They gave like their subscription away with all the new phones, and any Apple device you get like a year free. And I think if you're a student, you get it free. And it's just like there's so many areas and ways of getting it free. It's just like, do you even believe in it, guys? It's just like I know people like to pay for it normally. I think it's $10, but there's an easy way of getting it for like $4 or $5. I think I've heard. So it's and Apple are like quite open about like getting it out there. Maybe that's just their strategy. It's like we don't have too much content, don't charge them too much. But I really now that it's out and you go into the app and see what they've got there and what it's doing, I'm like, I don't know why they got into that business. Like I just don't think they're doing very well, and I just don't think they can compete with Disney or Netflix. So
I think they're in the hole now because, like we're talking about, oh, this is on Netflix, and you're gonna watch like 4 seasons of Better Call Saul, and I'm gonna watch 2 seasons of this show or that show or whatever it is. And it's just, you got that library, you got that catalog, and like your friend can go in and delve deep. And even Amazon's got a good catalog now.
Yeah,
but Apple don't. So all their shows are probably the same as everybody else. They're all on hold. They're all, postponed. Nobody's filming. Nobody's making anything. So if you have Apple at this point, you're just like, okay, I can rewatch that Jason Momoa show again, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that's it. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, you're completely right. Like if you really compare it that way, like you can just cycle through Amazon Prime or Netflix for so long, whereas Apple, you just scroll to the bottom of the list in like 10 seconds.
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to be doing good for. Well, but it's Apple. Like they're not running out of money. We talked about this. They're not a TV company. They're not trying to make advertising revenue. If they lose money on their Apple TV division, all they got to do is just sell a new phone, and then they're back in the black.
Yeah. There's a couple of things. So I've got Disney. I've got I've actually got them all because my wife's part of a university. So like everything we sign up to is like student wise. So like Amazon Prime on a student thing is like $5 or something. Apple TV's free. And then like anyway, a lot of the stuff's like a lot discounted. So we've actually got Prime, the lot. And I have to say, as cool as Disney is, the actual app is lacking. And this is on the Apple TV, but. So it doesn't have any like they just added wish list, I want to say, but it doesn't have continue watching or this is what you've watched before. So you go into the app, you have to find everything again. So like if you just watched, Troy, our son, like loves Moana right now, like he's seen it honestly probably 15 times. But every time we go into the bloody app, we have to find it again. It's not like the first tile or second tile down saying watch again. And then there's I could be wrong with the resume. There must be a resume. Anyway, it does feel a little bit rushed, like they rushed it out. But also, it only just came out in Europe, I want to say. So we've had it for 3 months, and Europe just got it, which is no better time to have it.
Yeah, and everybody's going to have it.
Yeah, and then, like you said earlier on, they released Frozen 2 early for that, which is cool.
The other thing that I'm realizing is that with Disney, they're... Like I was just thinking about it with Amazon, they're investing in movies, and Netflix are investing in movies, and Disney are obviously the movie kings. They own everything. So you have that thing, like you said, Frozen. It was in the cinema. Now we put it on our streaming service. Not Outbreak. That's Ebola movie. Don't know why that's in my head nowadays. But the new Pixar one, they take that from the cinema, they put that in it.
Yeah.
And The Irishman was in the cinema, and not even just having the movie division, but Apple, they have no appeal outside of just the app. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like they're not breaking the market, and as far as I know, they haven't bought any TV shows because isn't it Disney owned National Geographic, so they have that, and Netflix have bought Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I think Amazon have they went out and they got like the Top Gear guys, but they've also bought like TV shows, and the Amazon is connected through the Amazon Fire Stick, so you can get Crave TV and like all the TV shows on there. So Apple are kind of just like in the corner, like, oh, we're just going to make our own stuff. And it's like, well, you've only got like 3 shows.
I know, yeah. The one thing with Apple, and I know it hasn't actually been going too well with them, but is they do release or want to release them into the cinema. So I want to say The Banker just came out, but it got delayed or something. Some legal things happened. It was supposed to be in the cinema a while ago. And it's just, I think, come out on Apple TV now. But they do try and do like a cinema release, and then it comes to Apple TV after. I also want to say they had something with Oprah Winfrey that got cancelled as well, which is she. And then there's also some weird things. They've got like a Beastie Boy movie coming out, but again, delays on that. So I don't know what the heck's going on their side, but there's like three of their things coming up are all being delayed. But,
well, they're $1 trillion company, so they don't care. But it's just nice to see them lose now and again.
Yeah. I mean, like they're doing... they've obviously closed all their stores, but they're still paying employees. Obviously, they got the money to do that, so that's good on them. So
yeah, and good on Netflix. Got to give the respect to them. They're investing, I think, $100 million. They said they're going to give to actors and producers and stuff to help them through this period. Hear that. So
yeah, that's good. Just mentioning Amazon Prime, something is on my list, and I might even watch it tonight a little bit, is Jack Ryan Season 2, because I love Jack Ryan, and it reminded me of 24 so much. So I definitely want to dive into Series 2 of that.
I'll catch up on that because I'm halfway through Season 1. That was 6 months ago, so I'll finish that and I'll get through it.
I thought it was awesome, and a lot of people, I know a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people kind of were a little hung up because he's from The Office, but I haven't actually seen all of the American Office, so I don't see him as completely as that character. But I think it's awesome that like he can go from The Office and then suddenly play some SAS guy or whatever.
Oh shit! I just realized that other movie. I don't know if it even came out. The Quiet Place 2.
I want to say, yeah, I don't know if it did. I was wondering that because I was like, I kind of wish there was better films in the cinema because they probably would have come out then. Like that Onward film, which I actually watched this afternoon with my son, which was all right. It was a little odd for a Pixar film. I felt like it was done by a different team. It didn't have that kind of Pixar magic to it. But it was still I felt like if you didn't tell me it was done by Pixar, I would have thought it was done by like DreamWorks, like the Shrek people or something. So, but it did have Tom Holland and Chris Pratt doing the voices. They're the two main characters.
The old Marvel boys back together.
Yeah, going back to Marvel because we're going all over the place. Officially confirmed that Guardians of the Galaxy are in the next Thor film.
Gardens.
Love of Thunder or whatever it is. So,
did you see the Birds of Prey movie?
No, I heard really strange things about it. I heard it was just okay. Also, why change the name as well?
Oh yeah, like they changed the name in the middle of the release, didn't they? To call it like Harley Quinn. Yeah.
No, it was the other way around though, wasn't it? It started off Harley Quinn, but then it went to Birds of Prey.
I think it was Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's where it ended.
Of Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right, yeah.
And I think they just turned it around to just call it Birds of Prey.
Yeah,
that doesn't make it any better. People don't know what that is unless they watch that old CW show.
But yeah, obviously lots and lots to watch out there.
Also, read a book, people. Don't just listen to the podcast and watch it. Just read for half an hour a day. Just read a book.
I'm actually in the middle of Tyson Fury's book.
Oh, his autobiography.
Yeah, I got it for Christmas, so I haven't even opened it since then. I don't read many books. My wife's always just like, "Oh, you never read," but I'm like, I read the internet. I read blogs.
Yeah, I reads words.
I still read the words, yeah.
All right. Well, we've jumped around all over the place. Anybody who's listening in for the first time are like, these guys are complete idiots and they don't know what they're talking about.
It's usually a little bit more structured, but I'm sure if you are
It's not.
listening,
He's lying. Don't listen to him. He's lying.
we'll try not to make them a year apart. But
Yeah.
but there is no better time to kind of be doing this, and we've certainly got plenty of time on our hands. Even though I do have a second child on the way in the middle of this pandemic, but no, we're just as we get into a routine with our first, we're like, oh, we'll have a second.
Yes. And just as we got into a routine of doing the show, I moved and you had a child.
Yes. But I think we were chatting before, and we definitely are eager to do an endgame chat, like a commentary. I think that'll be fun, and again, everyone's got the time to put that on, so that'll be fun. But if you have listened this long, leave a comment in the comments about like what you've been watching. Maybe if you want us to do a commentary. Unfortunately, I mean, Paul can speak more to this, but it's hard to do those analysis because they just take a lot of deep diving, and you've got your own job now. But if you,
my hard drives are in Vancouver, but I'll see what I can do, seeing as we're on lockdown now for fucking 8 weeks.
Exactly. But we'll do the end game, and then we'll go from there. But we'll do these a bit more regularly, and just kind of see what we've been watching and what we've caught up on.
See what's what.
Yeah.
But thanks to everybody out there who's helping us get through this. Thanks to everyone for listening. Things will get better. We will actually be able to go back to the movies one day. I'm sure of it.
I'm sure. And keep well. Wash your hands, as they say, and stay indoors. Only go
it's good
out
to be
if
back.
you need to.
Even though it took an apocalypse to make it happen.
It basically did. Nice little finish there. All right. Well, thanks, guys. And
thanks, everyone.
We'll see you in the next one. All right.
Boy.
Boom.
Good stuff. You got the COVID.